The sky turned red the day the gods began to fight. I was just a boy then, living in a small village near the great river. That morning, the air felt heavy, like the world was holding its breath. The elders said it was nothing, just a strange wind, but by noon, we saw the first sign. The sun stopped moving, it just hung there, high above us, burning hotter than it ever had. People started to panic. The crops wilted under the heat, and the animals refused to leave their shade. My father told me to stay inside, but I was too curious. I slipped out and climbed the hill near the village to see what was happening. That's when I saw them, two figures, larger than mountains, standing on opposite sides of the river. One was made of fire, his body glowing like molten rock, his hair a wild mane of flames. The other was dark as night, his skin shimmering like water under the moonlight. They didn't speak, they just stared at each other, their presence shaking the heart. The river boiled where the fire god stood, sending steam into the air. On the other side, the water god raised his hand, and the clouds darkened, spilling rain so heavy it drowned the fields. I was frozen in place, too scared to run. Then it began. The fire god roared and flames shot into the sky, lighting up the red clouds like a second sun. The water god answered with a wave so tall it swallowed the trees along the riverbank. Their attacks collided in the middle, sending shockwaves through the land. I fell to the ground, my ears ringing, the earth cracking beneath me. The village was in chaos. People were running, screaming, trying to save what little they could. But the gods didn't care. They were too consumed by their battle, their pride. The land was tearing apart under their fury, and it felt like the end. But then something happened. A voice rang out, not loud but clear. It came from the river, soft yet powerful, like the song of the wind through the trees. I turned and saw an old woman standing at the water's edge. She was small, frail, but her presence was as strong as the gods. The gods stopped. They turned to her, their massive form looming over the river. "What are you fighting for?" she asked, her voice calm. The fire god's flame flickered, and the water god's wave stilled. "This land is ours to rule," the fire god boomed. "No," the water god replied, his voice like the rush of a waterfall. "It belongs to me." The old woman shook her head. "The land does not belong to you. It belongs to itself and to the people who live here." For a moment, the gods were silent. The old woman stepped into the river, her feet barely causing a ripple. She raised her arms, and the river glowed with a soft golden light. "You both have strength," she said, "but strength is not enough. The land needs balance, not destruction." The fire god looked at the water god, and for the first time, they didn't seem like enemies. Slowly, the fire god lowered his flame, and the water god let his waves fall. The sky began to clear, the air cooling, and the river flowed peacefully again. The gods faded into the horizon, leaving the land quiet once more. The old woman turned to me and smiled. "Tell your people to rebuild," she said, "and to honor the balance." She vanished into the water, leaving behind a calm river and a land ready to heal. That day, our village learned that even gods must bow to wisdom. We rebuilt together, stronger than before, and every year we honor the river and the land with a festival of balance. The fire god and the water god never fought again, and the river has remained peaceful ever since. Some say they watch over us now, protecting what they nearly destroyed. I like to think they learned something that day, just as we did.